Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Global Tales and Trails with another video of this series. In this series you have learned so far about getting immigration to the United States without any job offer from the US. You can also watch the videos about immigration to Austria as a highly skilled laborer as well as a professional from shortage occupation list. Immigration to Austria is cheaper, quicker, and easier as compared to the US. However, US has much more to offer than any other nation in the world. In today's video, I am explaining about various forms required for filing immigration petition. Please watch the complete video so that you learn the complete process and save your money from spending on paying heavy consultant fee. So let's start our today's video with a form or a notice from USCIS. What this notice states, it states that due to COVID related emergency, people can submit their form by electronically signing them and they will accept it. That means that if you print out your forms and sign them and then email them to someone in, for example, US who can submit on your behalf, that form will be okay for them and they will not ask for original handwriting pen signatures on the forms. So this is the first thing in today's video. The second thing is this form G28. If someone is applying through a consultant, then he will need to submit this form as well. The details about consultant and his USCIS related details, American details should be provided here. So this form is not intended for the people who are submitting the documents on their own, and if they are not hiring the consultant, then this form G28 will not be required. All the information in this form is from the consultant, who will provide his own information as well as information of the client and the mailing address and the term and conditions of this whole contract should be given here. So this form might not be required if you are not filing your petition through a consultant. The next form is G1145. What is the purpose of this form? Use this form to request the electronic notification when US Citizenship and Immigration Services accept your immigration application. This service is available for applicants field at USCIS lockbox facility. So if you intend to receive the electronic notifications, then you need to submit this form. So whatever the amendments or updates on your case after submitting it to USCIS will be sent to you electronically as well. So if you are submitting the form G28, then your consultant will eventually be getting these updates. Then there comes another form, which is form 750B. This form is nowadays obsoleted and has been replaced by this 9089 form. However, I am going to explain each of them. So in this 750B form is a very simple and short form in which you need to write your name, your first name, your present address, your country, type of visa you are applying for, or if you are already in the United States, you need to write your current visa type, the place of birth, date of birth, country of birth, and other trivial things. And because you are applying on self petition, you are not asking for any labor market certificate, so you will not need to show any information about the job market certificate or things like that. So this, you must need one of these. Alien will apply for the visa abroad. If, as I mentioned in my previous video, that after approval of your petition of waiver in national interest of the United States, you can have two options. If you are sitting in your home country, you can apply for immigrant visa over there in American Embassy. If you are in United States, then you need to apply for conversion of or transfer of your visa or update of your visa status in the United States. That will be through Form 485. We are not going to discuss it in today's video. Here are your qualifications. I have added this as a part of the annexure because it was not possible to write here. And other things, see the petition package. So all these questions like the additional qualification and skills of the worker or of the applicant who is intended to reach Austria, list of licenses and list of other documents. As I mentioned in my previous video, that how to prepare the petition letter and other documents. So all these information are already there, so just mention it that these documents are given in the petition package. Here comes what is your job, current address of the employer, name of the job, when did you start, when did you leave this job, kind of business, is it an education industry, research industry, or environmental protection industry, or whatever you name it, how many hours in a week you work, and what is the brief description of your job should be written here. Afterwards, all these sections does not apply to most of the people. Basically, in this form, it is preferred to include the jobs from previous 3 years. If you are on single job for past 3 years, then only this section will be filled up. But if you have switched your job in past 3 years, then B, C, and any other jobs you have done so far must be listed here in past 3 years. And if you have switched more than 3 jobs, then you must list all other jobs as an annexure, as I am going to show you shortly. So then there is a declaration and signature, your email address and date of signing this document. So this is the annexure where I have mentioned my education, field of study, starting date, end date, PhD is the degree. So this is simple document. You can prepare it in MS Word yourself, so and submit it. And if you have more jobs, you can also create such type of table in Microsoft Word containing all the details required in this section A, B, or C. What type of job you did, what was your title, when did it started, when it ended, what type of duties you performed. There should be annexed if there are more than 3 jobs. So moving on to the next form, which is 9089 form, and currently in use instead of 750B, the previous form, is this one. This form is pretty much detailed, and although it contains a similar information, for example, foreign worker's last name, full name, country of birth, place of birth, date of birth, and such trivial things, and education related information, education attainment information. So these are trivial information, these are not very difficult information. However, one can also submit form 750B instead of 9089 even currently, but the preference is given to 9089 form. So here comes the other details. In previous form 750B, the details about your trainings, your certificate and licenses you already possess is not given, but in this form all this information is also asked. So you need to fill out these certificates and things like that. And once again, I would reiterate that if you have more licenses and trainings and certificates than 3, for example, you can always add them as an annexure to this section and just mention it, add it in the annexure, and you can include as many certificates, trainings and licenses as possible. Then there comes the skills, abilities and proficiencies. You can detail them here, and if you need extra forms you can also add as an annexure your work experiences, and that is it. So this means that this form is a bit more detailed than 750B. You can submit this form because if you want to show more details about yourself, and I would suggest it is preferable. So moving on to the last form, I-140 form, the main form which is required to be submitted as a part of EB2 NIW immigration petition. This form starts here. Above this is something official, not for us, and if you have hired a consultant, then his information must be entered in Form G28 and you need to tick this box. All the other information is trivial, like the family name, middle name, your mailing address and things like that. The other information, this information is not related to most of the people. Then the petition type you are putting, for example, if you are putting on NIW based upon the profession holding an advanced degree and exceptional ability, as I mentioned in my previous videos, then most of the people apply for this thing. All other things, all other variants of this visa application require the job offer. However, the only 1H does not require the job offer. So you need to tick this form, this box. So what type of petition you are using? So the petition type to amend the previously filed petition, or for scheduling group A, schedule A, group 1 and 2 designations. So in our case this will apply. Then there comes the information about the person whom you are filing. So if your consultant is filing, so your information comes here, and obviously if consultant is hired, then he knows all such details. So the mailing address, the other information about the person the consultant is filing for, and then there comes the information about his or her last arrival in the United States. If you have previously traveled to the United States, then your information must be entered here. Normally you get I-94 form when you arrive in the United States, and this form contains your information when you arrived and what is the latest possible date for your return back from United States based upon your visa type of stay you have acquired and things like that. So this information must be correctly entered here from I-94 form. This form can be downloaded from USCIS website also. Other processing information, like provide the following information for the person named in part 3. So this is part 3. Information about the person whom you are filing. So here is alien will apply for the visa abroad at the US Embassy or US Consulate. So in which city will he or she be applying? So for example, if someone is applying from Pakistan, he may be applying into for immigrant visa processing in Pakistan, Islamabad. If someone is already in the United States, then he can choose the other thing. If you answered yes to the item 6, say select all those are applicable. So let's check what is item 6A here. it's down there. Are you filing any other petition or application with this form I-140? I-140 and I-485 can be applied in parallel. So if this is the case, then people must tick whichever is relevant. So these all forms can be applied in parallel to I-140. Then is the person for whom you are filing is in removal proceedings, so he is currently being removed from the United States or things like that? No. And most of these questions are answered as no in most of the cases under NIW petition. So additional information about the petitioner: he is self-employed or he is employed in some other organization or the business. So whichever applies to you must be ticked. Net annual income, the gross income, and other things. These are pretty much relevant to each and every case. Additional information about the petitioner is continued labor certificate, filing date, but in the case of NIW, these things will be left blank. Basic information about the proposed employment. This is kind of the profession you already are in and you want to adopt in the United States. So as I mentioned in my previous video as well, if you already have some job offer or you are in connection with some employer, you can enter his or her information in this section, in this part of the application form. If you are not connected with any employer so far and you have not got any green signals from any employer, you can leave it blank, but I would suggest you can apply for different jobs, and if you have some sort of feeling and some sort of confirmation that you are going to get that job, just mention the details about that job here. This SOC code, you can Google it and write it. Like for example, electrical engineering, this code is 172071. So it is on USCIS website. So different codes can be searched according to your job and you can get these codes to enter here. So if you are going to get this job, then what will be your office or what will be your job address? Then moving to the part number 7, the information about spouse and all other children. So your spouse and children information should be entered here. These are 6 persons can be entered in the form. If there are additional persons, you can just copy paste this block as an annexure to this form as well, and just right here the information is given in the annexure as I showed you in my previous form. Statement, contact information, declaration, petitioner or authorized signatory. So if you can read or write English yourself, then you should take this form, this block, otherwise this block, because you need the attendant or interpreter for understanding English. And at my request, the preparer name in part 10. So who is the preparer for your application? His name must be mentioned here. If in case of your consultant, his or her name should be given here, and authorized signatory contacts, so who it can be sign up on your behalf in case of unavailability. Petitioners or authorized signatures, declaration and certification. Petitioners are authorized signatures, so it is your signature and your date. Interpreter's contract information. If you have chosen 1B here, then this information must be filled in this part. Interpreter's contact information, continues, but for most of the people I think it will not be applicable, so I'm going through it quickly. Part 10. The preparator of the case as mentioned in this part 8, and you have mentioned the name here in case of consultant, so the information about the consultant should be included here, preparator statement and things like that. So as I mentioned earlier, if you are hiring a consultant, he knows better and he will be filing the case, so this video will be irrelevant for those scenarios. Additional information, if any further thing, if you need extra space, provide additional information within this petition, use a space below and blah blah. So if anything extra is needed or you have included any extras, so you must mention them here. And we reach page 9 of 9, the end of this document. So this is all for NIW petition. So now I hope that if someone has seen all 3 of my videos in this series, he or she can file his petition himself. Please share these videos among your friends who can get benefit from them, and like and share these videos, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any queries, you have any questions, please ask in the comments. I will definitely respond to your queries and try to clarify whatever is missing in my video. Thank you very much.